We continue with chapter 18, now verses 23 to 25. Anyone who has worked in an office perhaps have noticed different types of work ethics. There is this person who comes to work regularly. They come in, they go straight to their office. Whether they keep the door open or closed, they just sit there, do their work with full efficiency. Don't worry about whether they get the rewards for their work or not. They go home, come back the next day, do the same thing. They're good mentors. That's one kind. They don't do much small talk either. You got to go and draw them into a conversation. The second type of work habit is this person who tends to think he or she is the most important person in that institution. Their attitude is, what would happen to this institution without me? I've got to take care of everything. And they anticipate for doing so, because they think they are most important in the institution, a lot of rewards. They look busy, or they are actually busy, but then they also want everyone around them to be busy like them. That's the second kind. The third one is the one who comes always the first one to come to work, comes very early, and the last one to leave. They work very hard, very passionate about their work. They, although may not crave for rewards, whether they get them or not, they will do their best to make sure that institution succeeds. They might spend their own resources to make sure that the institution succeeds. They may do overtime sometimes. They take up somebody else's job and do it. That's the third kind. We've all gone through this. I mean, if I stop for a second and think, how was I when I went to work? Now that I'm retired. How was I? Which category did I belong to? It's impossible for me to judge that. Maybe I have to ask someone else, some of my colleagues, and say, what do you think? Which category would you put me in? Because when I think about it, it feels like I could be in any one of those categories at different days. But predominantly, I belong to one of them. Bhagavad Gita essentially in these verses 23, 24, and 25 define these three things. these three categories of work ethics. It does not rank them with respect to which is the best, which is not the best, which is the worst, rather. It just says these are the three types of work ethics. We tend to believe perhaps the first one. Of course, the names given to these are Saatvic for the first one, who does his or her job and goes home, no fuss. The second is this Rajasvic nature. I belong, me. The whole world revolves around me. And so on. The third one just overworks, workaholic. Doesn't know the limits of how to pace themselves. That's the Tamas category. That's what these three verses, today's verses, basically define. Without, again, I'm repeating myself, ordering them in any kind of priority. One is not worse than the other, but these are the ethics. That's all it says.